Good afternoon, swim fans, and welcome inside Liberty Natatorium for collegiate swimming between the University of Lynchburg and Mary Washington. The Eagles in town from Fredericksburg to take on the Lynchburg Hornets. It's homecoming weekend for the University of Lynchburg, and this is just one of many athletic events and other events in general that are going on that are so exciting. We had our Athletics Hall of Fame induction and dinner yesterday, celebrating some incredible athletes and teams of distinction. But now we shift our focus to the pool here at the Liberty Natatorium. The teams are ready. We saw an exciting and uplifting pregame shout from both the squads. They were all into it, and everybody was excited. It was like something you'd see on the football gridiron with athletes in faces and yelling at each other. It got me fired up. I am excited. My name is Kyle Haney, and I'll be trying to bring you the action here today. We'll have some outstanding visuals from our Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network team, which is basically just my guy, Josh Smith, today. But it does take a village to put it on. We've really had some fun in the setup and in the pregame, but now we're almost ready for swimming between these two squads. And yeah, we do have to mention, last time out, our last broadcast was the Code Red meet between Lynchburg and Bridgewater, which was exciting. We're actually going to get the national anthem right now, so let's pause for just a moment, and we'll be back in just a second. We'll meet you at the pool here in just a moment. So there we go, an outstanding rendition of our national anthem. And yes, the fans are still filing in here. Good crowd has made the trip from Mary Washington. We'll say hello to any Eagles fans that are tuned in. We know we've got quite a few. And of course, we've got Lynchburg fans watching as well. We're getting set for relay action here. It's women's 400-yard medley relay to begin. We'll go through the lane assignments on the heat sheet here as we get cranked up. It'll be lane 1, Lynchburg D, with my great friend Caroline Inskeep getting it cranked up as she stayed under for a while. Good start there for Inskeep. In lane 2, it's the Mary Washington C. This is Jessica Hinson racing the first leg. In lane 3, it'll be Caitlin Moore for Lynchburg's B team. Lane 4, Mary Washington's A team, Phoebe Root. Lane 5 is Lynchburg's A team, Lindsay Hare. And in lane 6, Mary Washington's B team, Ann Carr. And lane 7, Lynchburg's C team, Aaron Wojciechowski. So we're already underway, just like that. It is the women's 400-yard medley relay. I know my great friend Sam Graham had an incredible broadcast a week or so ago, or whenever that was, with the Bridgewater Lynchburg Code Red meet. That's a tough bar that he set. That is a high bar to live up to, but I'll try it here as we're just about 1 minute into our first event of the day. And those lane assignments were right to left on your screen. So lane 1 is in the rightmost portion of your screen, and so on and so forth. And just scanning out there, it does look like Mary Washington has jumped out to a lead. Or perhaps, yeah, that's Mary Washington's A team in the lead there. Second leg is being swam by Kinsey Brooks. Kinsey Brooks for Mary Washington's A team has the lead. Caroline Mariota for Lynchburg's B. Swimming well, Claire Galloway for Lynchburg's A in lane 5 is making the touch right now and the turn. And we are scanning the scoreboard up here at the Liberty Natatorium, which is fabulous and makes it easy to follow along with the action. Brylan Gilbert for Lynchburg in lane 7 for Lynchburg's C team. Got to hear the pregame instructions from Lynchburg swim coach Brad Dunn. That was really insightful and also entertaining too. Brad Dunn is just an outstanding coach and kind of blew me away with just the way he talked to the team. The message was just perfectly crafted, I thought. Great passion, energy, enthusiasm. And he is a coach that I think is just making an outstanding name for himself all over campus, but also in the swimming world. Brad Dunn also, we should point out, a Mary Washington alum. Some folks watching will already know that as the Mary Washington A team still in the lead. That's Bridget Wilson in the pool right now for Mary Washington. Third leg for Mary Washington A in lane 4, Bridget Wilson. Seizing control. Reagan Leach in the pool right now for the Lynchburg A team. Going to try to fight back in this women's 400-yard medley relay. Had a good chat with Reagan Leach earlier this week. She does some work for us on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network in the Sports Information Athletic Communications Department. Reagan Leach was primed for a good day for Lynchburg, swimming the third leg for the Lynchburg A. Grace Zalkin in the pool for Lynchburg C. It's Rose McCullen for Mary Washington B. For Lynchburg's D team, you've got Sydney Strauss. Mary Washington C team, Megan Fallon. And Delaney Kennedy racing for Lynchburg's B team. Turn there in lane 5 for Lynchburg A by Savvy Burrows. Savvy Burrows, one of the all-time best in Lynchburg history. We'll be talking quite a bit about her all day. She's got quite a bit of ground to make up, though. Basically half a pool to Mary Washington's A. That is Margaret Jones. Margaret Jones is just about to touch the ball and get the win for Mary Washington's A. It'll be Savvy Burrows finishing up. That's the second place for Lynchburg's A team. And now the fight is on. You can hear the students and the crowds really rallying behind their squads. Oh, a very close finish there at the wall. Great finish at the wall. And it looked like it was going to be Lynchburg's B team that edged out Mary Washington by a nose. Just trying to gauge the reactions over there from the sideline as well, and then also scanning the board. But that was a really good finish at the wall there. And Lynchburg's D team will bring it home here. That was Savannah Solenberger. Megan Kim swam the anchor leg for Mary Washington C. It was Madeline Foreman for the Lynchburg B. Emma Walker, Mary Washington B team, she swam fourth, and Bryn Dyer for Lynchburg's C team swam fourth. So yes, the results do appear to be on the board, although just scanning that, not totally easy to decipher, especially for a novice, a rookie like me in my first live swimming action. I went back and watched all the previous events that are on the Lynchburg Hornets YouTube, which is a great option, of course. I always like to point out LHSN, all the events stay up there. So that is one way to stay in touch with what's going on, and you can review the action. It'll now be men's 400-yard medley relay. Lane 1 is empty here. In lane 2 for Mary Washington, Boone Fleener will start. Lane 3 for Lynchburg, Owen Howerly. That's the Lynchburg B. Mary Washington A will have Paul Dadovic will swim the opening leg for Mary Washington's A. Lynchburg's A will be Colton Schnarr swimming first. Mary Washington B, Alex Ung in lane 6. Lynchburg C, lane 7, Logan Canton. We're off to a good start here for the men. Already making the first touch, or actually second wall touch, but back to where we began at the starting line, if you will. It is Boone Fleener out to a good start for the Mary Washington C team. Let's run down the second legs here. Dan Rojas is ready to jump in for Mary Washington C. Miles Fitzgerald will be next for Lynchburg's B. Mary Washington A is Aiden Deege. I believe it's Aiden Deege there. Lynchburg A, Andrew Foray. Mary Washington B, Will Berkey. And Lynchburg C, Henry Walls, another guy that has worked with us on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Henry Walls, great cat. Got to chat with him before the meet. He was in high spirits, racing second for the Lynchburg C team. Got a good group of fans in the natatorium today. They are really enjoying the swimming. Half of our fans are on their feet here. It's going to be a long day, but yeah, get up and yell. It's absolutely fabulous. Need to talk more about the events going on for Lynchburg Homecoming, because it's a full day on campus. We are actually on the campus of Liberty University, getting to use their wonderful facility this season. Lynchburg swimming just making so many strides in a very, very short lifespan. It's really great to see. Third legs in now, I believe, for Lynchburg's A, it's Miles West. Mary Washington A is Jonathan Zimmer. Mary Washington C in lane 2, Preston Trevi. Lynchburg B in lane 3 is Landon Ellis. Mary Washington B over in lane 6 is Kyle Diedrich. And lane 7, Lynchburg C, Mark Flewelling. Some great young talent out here. That's always interesting how you balance your relay teams. Who gets what leg? Who gets what stroke? You've got your specialists and your all-arounders and all those sorts of things. It's always great to think about. Ben Myers is in for Lynchburg. I believe in lane 4 for Mary Washington. Darrell Everett got a great start. Swimmers are trying to work the crowd. They're asking for more enthusiasm and excitement. I love it. It's another one that could come down to the finish. Lynchburg looks like they have surged ahead. Darrell Everett. Will Casemeyer there. Will Casemeyer is going to get the wall first in front of Darrell Everett. Darrell Everett for Mary Washington was maybe a half a body length behind, it looked like. Will Casemeyer with an outstanding anchor leg there for Lynchburg. Fourth swimmer for Mary Washington C was Larry Almerentio. Lynchburg B, Ben Myers. Mary Washington B was Logan DeWalt, and Lynchburg C was Max Carrico. Wow. That was an exciting finish. Lynchburg working their crowd. Will Casemeyer, I would say, with the performance of the meet so far. We're only 2 relays in, but I think we can safely say that, right? Next up, women's 1,000-yard freestyle, our third event. In lane 2 for Mary Washington, it'll be Caroline Turner. Sydney Parrott in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Lane 4 is Mary Washington's Ainsley Graff. Lynchburg, Molly Spano in lane 5. Mary Washington, Marina Klein. I'm going to double check that one for you. She's in lane 6. And Jordan Reeder in lane 7 for Lynchburg. This 1,000-yard freestyle. So, of course, this will be one of the longer events. You astute swimming fans know that. And I'm just going to assume that anybody watching the broadcast is probably more knowledgeable than I am in swimming. But we'll try to have some fun with it. We'll try to inform and add to these wonderful visuals that we've got going on here with Josh Smith. And I'm just checking out the video, see what it looks like on here. It looks great. And it is a great facility, again, to swim in. I believe Mary Washington, we've got a little bit of time because this is a long race, and talked to Coach Brad Dunn about the pacing in these races. I think on your screen there you can see the teammates holding the counter in the pool as they come in for the touch, which is really unique, so the swimmer knows what lap they're on, all those sorts of things. And there are different signals you can give with the boards and the counters as well as far as pacing. Because unlike a long-distance run where you're going to wear a wristwatch, or even you can have the coach on the side of the track shouting out the split times and those sorts of things, can't really do that in swimming. So you can send some signals with those boards under there as far as what your time is like. Are you close? Are you lagging behind? Are you ahead? And that's always an interesting dynamic in athletics because let's say you are ahead of your preferred pace or expected pace, knowing when to just keep pushing it, knowing when to take advantage of a great day is so much fun. You're getting ready to come on the broadcast, aren't you? We're live right now. I don't know if you want to.
Are you live right now?
Right now. All the crowd's hearing this, although they're not hearing you. You'd have to grab the microphone.
I'll do it with someone. Maybe one.
Well, this is pressure. You're going to do it with me.
Oh, I'll do it with you.
We got to just get this going. Where's our other microphone, Josh? Yes. You're going to. This is informal. This is informal. No. Introduce yourself to our fans. Oh, the Lynchburg people watching are probably going to remember you anyway.
I hope they remember me. Hi, my name's Corinne Ford. I'm the class of 2023, and I'm just so excited to be back in the building and watching them swim so great.
Homecoming weekend, Corinne. Isn't it fabulous? Is this your first homecoming as a non-student? Or are you a grad student?
I'm a grad student at JMU.
Thank you. Oh, okay.
So I'm visiting, but yes.
Okay. Yes. Awesome.
It's been great. I mean, they got the atmosphere, and
I love it.
I love to see it.
The pregame. Tell me about the pregame huddle there, where everybody's getting fired up. That was like, I thought I was watching a college football team or something, not swimming.
Oh yeah, it's the best thing in a pool environment because every voice just echoes like 10 times louder. So it's just the atmosphere in those huddles is unmatched.
Can I tell people about the caffeine thing?
You can if you like. I mean,
last year, Corinne and I were working together for a softball game, and she told me that she has never had caffeine. It was inspirational, fans. I'm telling you, it inspired me. And, of course, you see, like, I've already had 4 cups of coffee and a soda and all that, but I want to get there.
You will get there. I mean, you go swim a couple laps. That's all the adrenaline you need for the day.
That's true. That's a good point. And I brought that up to people, and I felt embarrassed. I was like, well, maybe Corinne doesn't want me saying that, but you seem to be okay with it.
Oh, no. I got to respect, It's all good. It's what
hey,
I
remind everybody, what events did you swim?
I was a sprint freestyler and 100 fly, and I loved, my favorite relay was the 2 free relay. Shout out to my girls, Savvy, Sophia, and Claire, and Reagan, just the best relay teammates ever, and I miss them so much, but I love being able to still watch them, and they're just going to kill it, and I'm so excited for them.
Yeah, you named some real Lynchburg legends there, talking about Savvy and Reagan and Soph. I mean, what makes them so good? The work ethic and then also the talent and those things too?
Oh, yeah. They, by far, at practice, they're always locked in. But also at the same time, they're encouraging to the teammates around them, and they're just the sweetest people. But, don't get me wrong, I don't want to go up against them, and they're
right.
competitive. But, I mean, they're just the most incredible teammates, and I miss them every day. But I'm just so proud of them, and their work ethic, and it's unmatched.
I love it. And feel free to get some of the homies on or again, when we come back later.
Oh, yes.
But before I let you go, you mentioned you were in the sprints. These longer races, the 1,000-yarder, did you ever do that? And it's a completely different mentality, right, as far as having to pace yourself?
Oh, yes. I sadly, as Brad would say, have never done the 1,000 freestyle. But, I mean, the people in the distance group are just – I mean, they're unreal. I mean, the mentality you have to know how long you should go for, and but speed up. I mean, the way they strategize their races is incredible because, I just dive in and I'm like, okay, don't breathe and kick, and then I'm at the wall. But, they have to think, when do they take a breath? When do they flip? And so they're just incredible to watch. I mean, these longer races are longer, but, I mean, the way to watch them develop throughout the race is really cool.
Yeah, when you see one of those long comebacks where somebody makes up half a pool length, you kind of in the back of your mind know, okay, they knew what they were doing the whole time. So that's a fascinating piece. Hey, you touched on Coach Brad Dunn. He's incredible. I listened to his instructions to the swimmers before everybody went down. I mean, again, it was inspirational. His passion for this, and also the way he connects and communicates that. Talk about Coach Brad and just how good he is.
I love Coach Brad. I met Brad at a conference at a hotel for Lynchburg. They were coming when I was a senior, and immediately, knew that he was the coach for me, and he was great all the 4 years I was there, and he is so passionate about the sport, and you can tell that through every practice, every meet, every, one-on-one interview or, thing we have with him. So you can tell how much he cares about his athletes and cares about the success of this team. And he's been a great coach, and it's awesome to see now, we have we 2 new grads, assistant coaches, and then the assistant coach coming from Liberty. So he's built a great coaching staff around him, and it's just awesome to see it all play out, as an alumni and now coming back. So, he's a great coach. I have nothing but good things to say about him.
Well, Corinne, just listening to you talk, 2 things come up. Maybe you should have a career in broadcasting because you're smashing it. And 2, what about a career in coaching, swimming? Has that ever crossed your mind? I mean, maybe not a career, maybe a hobby, a side, I don't know. Run with that.
I mean, I will always love the sport of swimming, and I'm in grad school getting my degree in occupational therapy, so I want to work with kids. So, being a summer swim coach has crossed my mind for fun.
Yes.
And, I teach some lessons here and there, but,
there you go.
People who do it at this level are they're so passionate about it, and, they just, I leave that for them. I love swimming, don't get me wrong, but, it means so much to them, and it's so cool to see, alumni here who I think could have a potential in coaching, so it's awesome to see them.
Well, Corinne, you're awesome, and seriously, if you want to get some of the homies and just take over the broadcast, I'll go down to the pool deck. I'll get a soda or something and kick back. You guys can do whatever you want. It's fun. Like I said, most of the people listening, I don't know if you heard this, but most of the folks watching know more about swimming than I do. I'm kind of a novice. I'm just trying to have a good time with it. So you guys could take over and you could have a blast. I think probably all of our Lynchburg fans watching remember you. I'm sure we're getting good feedback. I don't want to look at the chat. I don't want to look at the comments because my ego is paper thin. You know how my ego is.
I'm sure some seniors could. I say seniors.
Yeah.
We're alumni now.
Yeah.
Some of the alumni definitely think, and shout out to all the senior parents who might be watching. Obviously the Fords, got the Hands, the Campbells, the Shans, the Freeses. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them, but I love all you guys. I miss you.
And what a great crowd in the building,
and a great
too.
crowd, yeah. We got a lot of people coming back. I know the senior meet in January.
Yeah.
I know there's a bunch of parents coming back for that one. I mean, it's going to be a great time, and I can't wait to see how this season unfolds.
All right, well, come back on the broadcast later, but no pressure. I don't want to put a huge burden on your shoulders, but it would be fun. I think you're great. I think, like I said, coerce somebody else. Yeah, rope them in. There we go. All right. What do you think as the race is going on here? I mean, we're 10 minutes in. I'm not. We need to plug back into this and get folks some times and things. Although, are we getting the times up on the screen? Sometimes we get that. I'm not sure if we got that technology plugged in.
Yes.
But anyway, go ahead.
They're doing great. I'm seeing, obviously, I talking as I'm a full distance expert.
Yep.
Looking great. I see Jordan Reeder over there just slaying. She's going to try to keep
lane
pacing.
7, yep.
She's going to try to pace off that girl next to her, to who, that's going to help her out. And then we got Molly trying to catch up with her because, look, this is the last leg. Whoever rings that bell is in first place. So she's got one more lap. So Molly, I bet, will really kick it into gear here and try to catch up with that girl next to her.
I love it. Keep going. And the arms are burning at this point, right? The shoulders are on fire right now.
Shoulders are on fire. It's burning. And then, as you see, it keeps going. We've got Sydney, who I believe is a freshman. I have not met her, but she seems very great in distance events. So, you kind of start finding your pace. I say Lynchburg is great at finding our pace together. Even though they are on different laps, they all end up pacing together and helping each other out through the race.
Can we dive into that a little bit more? I mean, you're just under the water, you're seeing out of the corner of your eye, I guess, that pace, right?
Oh, yes.
Or where the other swimmers are.
Yes, it's definitely you when you take your breath and when you do flip turns.
Okay.
And it's nice because, swimming, we usually wear red caps.
Yep.
So when you turn to the side, you see just a red blur.
Okay, sure.
That's where you want to go.
So if you're swimming
them.
another team that wore a red cap, that could be difficult.
That
or
is
do
a
you
little
or
bit
do you
difficult.
teams make sure they wear different colored caps?
It really depends on the team.
Okay.
I mean, in the ODAC, we've got, Randolph.
Right.
Kind of has some maroon, Roanoke's maroon.
Yeah.
So, but I would say we're the only team that has, that fiery red.
Okay. Yeah,
So
it is fire, by the way.
You see that fiery red
Yep.
cap? That's when you gotta go for that.
Is that, and I'm gonna pick your brain again, is that natural, or do you have to learn that as a swimmer to pick up where the other ones are?
I would say it kind of comes naturally, but, building off that pace and, going, it's a little bit learned. But, I mean,
Okay.
everyone down there is an expert at it. Distance events specifically train that pacing aspect. So
Got it.
They're doing a great job, and this men's 1,000 is going to be a great race. Definitely people I would look out for that, since I know them, is you got Ahmad. He's actually wearing a gray cap, so he might
interesting.
switch things up here.
True.
But
Ahmad
got
Woodson
him in
for
lane
Lynchburg,
5.
right.
And then I can't quite see. It looks like we got Toby Lima over in lane 7. And Eric Witt.
Yeah, I could run them down for you. Or there's the lane assignment. It's a heat sheet if you want, but
yeah, I know. I'm from Fredericksburg, so Mary Wash is
right
in my area, and they definitely got some great swimmers in here, and they're definitely going to give everyone a run for their money. And same thing with Lynchburg. I think it's going to be a great day of racing.
And Coach Brad Dunn, he swam at Mary Washington. He helped make that program what it is today. He said, it's just another meet, air quotes, but it does mean a little bit more to me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's definitely some feelings attached with, his alma mater here, and I believe, I'm not sure, but I knew the coach and him know each other, and so there's definitely a lot of, commonalities, and I think this is going to be a great meet.
Awesome. All right, come back anytime you want.
I will.
If
Thank
you don't,
you.
best of luck at grad school and all that
Thank
jazz,
you.
and I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
See you
Don't
very
ever drink
soon.
caffeine.
I won't ever. I'm going to hold out as long as possible. Thank you so much.
All right. That was great. That was a blast. Let's get back to trying to run down what's happening. In lane 2 for the men's 1,000-yard freestyle, Luke Strickler for Mary Washington. Lane 3 is Lynchburg's Eric Witt. Mary Washington's A.J. Green is in lane 4. Ahmad Woodson, who Corinne and I mentioned, swimming in a gray cap, but swimming for Lynchburg in lane 5. Jack Schreiber is in lane 6 for Mary Washington. Toby Lima in lane 7 for Lynchburg. And Eric Hupp, lane 8 for Mary Washington. Interesting, in those pre-swim instructions that Coach Brad Dunn delivered, he did tell everybody, hey, we're going red caps today, red caps. So maybe Ahmad Woodson just left the red swim cap in a different bag, or maybe there's another reason for it. Maybe after this we could get Ahmad Woodson up here and find out a little bit more as to what the story is there. Maybe something just as simple as he did, just left it at home. Justin Anderson is the outstanding sixth-year head coach at Mary Washington. He's a 2010 grad. Corinne briefly mentioned him. Assistant coaches are Grace Gartman and Ryan Sullivan, Peter Lermo and John Mahoney. Student assistants. And for Lynchburg, we should definitely run down their outstanding coaching staff here at some point. There's just there's so much paperwork. Sometimes you get overwhelmed with paperwork, and then also we're up here amongst the fans a little bit, so that's fun because sometimes the fans will come by and they'll grab your heat sheet and they'll scan a picture of it and all that stuff. So it's great. It's a lot of fun. This is a different kind of a vibe for me, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it so far. But yes, the Lynchburg coaching staff, Brad Dunn, the director of men's and women's swimming. Emily Zimkowski is one of our new assistant coaches. Emily, I think, is just loving her time in Lynchburg so far. really great personality. Liv Hutton is the grad assistant swim coach. Also Chris Jennings, grad assistant swim coach. And Alyssa Reed, one of our assistant coaches. So nice to run that down for the Lynchburg swim team. But yeah, Brad Dunn, I just think one of the best. And I knew he was one of the best before I saw him in action. But it's really, again, just a great perspective and a new way to look at things when you hear Brad Dunn in the huddle. And now we're going to get another alumni. Introduce yourself to the fans and remind everyone who you are, because I think a lot of our fans are going to remember this guy.
Perfect. My name is Kellen Campbell. I'm class of 23. I swam here all 4 years. I was one of the first in the class when Brad recruited us out of high school. And, it's great to be back here today to see all the faces and all of you guys rooting on Lynchburg Swimming. And it's really awesome to see us grow into such a big program where we are today and where we came from my freshman year compared to where we are now. So it's really fun to be here today.
I want to dive into those early days. You know, it's not easy to start a program. What about Coach Brad Dunn just made you gravitate toward him? He's got that gravity. He sucks you in, doesn't he? Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a real swimmer's coach, and obviously he'll get on you if he needs to, but he's here for us, and he wants us to be the best we can possibly be, and that was his message from day one. He really wanted us to go out, just compete. Obviously, a new program's not expected to do too much, but I think we exceeded everyone's expectations our freshman year. And it just grew from then. I mean, we had plenty of recruits following after that. Our sophomore class, when I was a sophomore, that freshman class, one of the biggest ones now, who are seniors now, there's about 20 of them still on the team. So, no, Brad really created a sense of family within the program. I know that seems not as much of a big aspect in smaller programs, but it really is. The fact that he was able to include everyone, not just the top swimmers, but to include everyone within the program made him stand out and made him very special. And being able to swim in a pool like this, I mean, who wouldn't want to swim in one of the nicest facilities in the country? So, no, Brad did a really good job getting us all here to buy into the program and to really just create a sense of culture within the team and within Lynchburg Swimming. So that's essentially what he did for us.
Talk about your personal experiences in the pool. Tell us about the events that you swam, and give us some insight into these longer 1,000-yard freestyle. This distance event here. So
luckily, I wasn't a distance swimmer. I actually swam 100 and 200 backstroke. I was also an IMer, so I'd swim 200 and 400 IM. I remember my very first meet here at Lynchburg, or at Liberty actually. We swam an exhibition meet, and it was a 1v1 between me and another person from Liberty that actually swam the 1,000. So I know these are kind of redundant and repetitive to watch, but these are the type of events that set us apart, in my opinion. You could see right now Ahmad and Eric have done a great job holding down this 1,000 for us, and you could see right now they're swimming very well. So, I mean, these longer events are a little bit hard to watch, but like I said, these type of events are what we specialize in and what we really want to build on, just because not a lot of people like to swim these longer events. And so if we can get guys that really want to buy in and get into that type of event, I mean, it's a plus. It's a big plus for us.
And that's where the team aspect comes in, too, when you got the teammates on the side rooting you on and trying to make sure that you're getting something positive from the pool deck, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we all just like to spread positivity within the program. I mean, the more positive you are, obviously, the better the team will be and the better the team will perform. So, I mean, we really tried to instill that within at least my 4 years here, to always remain positive no matter the outcome. You may win an event or a meet that you didn't expect to. So something like that is very exciting within our program. Just the positivity around the program right now, though, it's really awesome to see. Like I said, we came from such a small group, about 25 of us our freshman year, and to now see it being one of the biggest teams on campus, it's really special to see.
Well, you got a great look. You're well-spoken. I don't know if you're going to get a career in politics, but tell everybody what you got going on right now in your life. Seriously, you should think about it, although politics is a dirty business.
Of course. I
don't know.
So I was lucky enough to have a great public relations professors within my time at Lynchburg. That's what I really prided myself on. I really wanted to have a smaller classroom aspect, so I could really get to know my professors and get to learn my craft, essentially. So I was a public relations major, like I said, and so I feel like being able to speak publicly is a massive aspect within my life, and if everyone was able to learn how to speak effectively within the public, it'll help them along the way. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm working now. I'm a project manager for an asphalt company, so I mean, I got to talk to customers all day and everything. So Lynchburg really set me up to be able to be put into these situations as an entry-level employee for any type of job. So I think Lynchburg does a great job of being able to find that niche topic that you really enjoy and to be able to perfect that craft and to really just thrive in whatever you would really want to do. So I think Lynchburg itself, the professors here, the classrooms, the faculty, the staff, they all do a great job setting us up for post-grad life. So I appreciate you saying I speak well within this, but I'm pretty used to it. I used to speak to the team all the time, and so I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, not to get too far on a tangent, but nothing can happen until a road gets paved. That's huge.
And
like, think about it.
Exactly, and you don't think there's a lot to go into it, but of course there is, and that's within every profession. You have things that you think you know, and then things that you actually learn while you're there. So, no, but like I said, Lynchburg really helps you prepare for post-grad life and what to expect after college. So it was a great 4 years that I had here, and obviously swimming shaped me to be disciplined and to remain focused on whatever topic I have to talk about.
Tell everybody about the signals when the teammates putting the board in the water, how you can signal some things as in, hey, you need to pick it up, or vice versa.
Yeah. So
go into that a little bit.
It's different with every swimmer, but as you can see, we're at the very end of this race. When you put the boards down, you can either shake it up or down or left to right. It just depends on what the swimmer wants and what the counter is doing.
Swimmer specific, though. You're going to tell them what signals you want.
So Brad or any of the other coaches will look over to the counter and say, hey, it's time to pick up the pace.
Gotcha.
Within the longer events, we're able to pace and obviously have a set amount of time that you want to be targeting for the race. And so Brad, obviously, and the other coaches can see if you're on that exact pace. And if you're not, then that's when you start to move the board left and right or up and down. So those are what the signals mean, essentially. And it's really nothing more to that. It just depends on the swimmer whether you want it left or right or up and down, or if you don't want it at all. I mean, you can ask Brad, but usually if you're not going fast enough, he'll tell the counter to move up and down or so.
Sure. And Ahmad Woodson got a win for Lynchburg there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ahmad, look at that.
Yeah, 10:21 for
Great
Ahmad.
race. And Eric, number 2. That's awesome.
Yeah, 1-2 finish there for Lynchburg.
That's a great race. This will be fun, too. The freestyles are always, like I said, pretty tedious, but now since we're headed towards the 200s, this will be a little bit more, I guess, exciting. So
this is great. Yeah. And homecoming for you also.
Of course.
So enjoy that. You going to go over to campus a little later and hang out? Of
course I am, yes. Good. I'll wait for the meet to be done. I'll talk to the guys and girls, and then I'll head over there and see what's going on. They usually have lacrosse games going on and soccer games and stuff.
Yeah, we've got women's and men's lacrosse alumni games first. And then field hockey, men's soccer, women's soccer. It's a full day over there at Shelley. And then,
that'll be awesome.
Of course, homecoming alumni events and all that stuff. And you'll connect with all the other people that you've missed so much. And we'll get up over there as well. And come back on the broadcast, too. I'm not saying you can't come back.
No worries.
I'm going to need somebody to
save
me in about an hour again. And get some of the other people over here.
Of course, I appreciate it. Thank you
as the team captain, you can rally them and tell them they got to come over on the broadcast.
Exactly. I was talking to the alumni over there, and they're like, Kellen, you have to go first. I decided to come over here and just get it.
You nailed it. I mean, you nailed it. So you set a high bar, so that could be a problem for them. But they'll be all right. That's their problem, not yours.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
This is great. Thank you. All right, this is just a blast. It's like the swimming party on LHSN here. A little bit of a different format on the broadcast, but we're making it work. We do have women's 200-yard freestyle in the pool right now. Let's start in lane 1. Madeline Corbett for Lynchburg. In lane 2, it'll be Mary Washington's Megan Kim. Delaney Kennedy in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Mary Washington's Ashley Dyer in lane 4. Reagan Leach in lane 5. Mary Washington's Ann Carr in lane 6. Sophia DeCruz swims for Lynchburg in lane 7. Selby Heyman in lane 8 for Mary Washington. And Caroline Inskeep in lane 9 for Lynchburg. Action is underway here in the women's 200-yard freestyle. Three of my personal favorites in this race right now, and three people that worked with us on LHSN and our other broadcast and with the sports information, because when you're running these collegiate events, it does take a lot of manpower and woman power to put it on. You think about I was over at men's soccer and women's soccer the other day, and you've got to have a scoreboard operator and a public address announcer, and you've got to have someone down on the field interfacing with the referees when you get the cards and those sorts of things. And then you got to have a producer and a director and a replay director and camera operators, and the list goes on and on. So, Caroline Inskeep, Reagan Leach, Delaney Kennedy, all just great working with. And now the men are in for the 200-yard freestyle. Lane 1, Nathan Milligan for Lynchburg. Quinn Davenhall for Mary Washington in lane 2. Ryan Leahy in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Jacob Robinette for Mary Washington in lane 4. Lynchburg's Colton Schnars swims in lane 5. Conrad 10 for Mary Washington in lane 6. Max Carrico for the Hornets in lane 7. And rounding it out in the men's 200-yard freestyle is Zachary Cherry swimming for the Mary Washington Eagles. We are just trying to have fun along with the rest of you. Brad Dunn, a 2011 Mary Washington grad, is of course the head coach for Lynchburg now. And I believe Corinne was mentioning that, yes, he did swim with Mary Washington's head coach, Justin Anderson, who's a 2010 Eagle graduate. So great connection there. That's always a fun thing about sports, and I think specifically collegiate sports, those connections and those spider webs, those coaching trees, if you will, and shared knowledge and shared passion, and then you get the friendly rivalry aspect in there as well, because Brad Dunn doesn't want to lose to his former college teammate. It's coming down to an exciting finish here. It looked like Nathan Milligan in the lead for Lynchburg. Tight finish at the wall. Who got that? Scanning the board, I think Colton Schnars won it. Colton Schnars, minute 49.03. Jacob Robinette was a tenth of a second behind. What a tight finish there. Schnars edging out Robinette. Wow. We're already into event number 7. It's fast and furious. We will have a break built in after event number 14. But event 7 is the women's 100-yard backstroke. Abigail Schneider for Lynchburg, lane 1. Jessica Hinson for Mary Washington, lane 2. Caitlin Moore for the Hornets in lane 3. Swimming in lane 4 is Phoebe Root for Mary Washington. Lindsay Hare for Lynchburg, lane 5. Ashlyn Dietrich for Mary Washington in lane 6. Bryn Dyer for Lynchburg in lane 7. Amanda Shayward for Mary Washington in lane 8. And Aaron Wojciechowski for Lynchburg in lane 9. They are off and swimming here in the women's 100-yard backstroke. We do have a second heat listed, but only one swimmer listed in there. Not sure if that'll happen or not. We'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. As we got more alumni coming on. I want you two to just take over, introduce yourselves. I'll go get a soda and some popcorn. You guys have fun with the broadcast. We got the heat sheet there if you need it. We are in event number 7, the women's 100-yard backstroke.
All right.
Go nuts.
All right.
No bad language, of course. You are representing the University of Lynchburg here,
Yes.
after all.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so in the water, we have the 100 back for the women. Let's see. Lindsay Hare, Caitlin Moore, Bryn Dyer,
Aaron.
Abigail, Aaron.
Got a big heat there.
Very big heat. Next, we have the men. It'll be event 8. We'll have Devin, Will Casemeyer, Miles West, Logan. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
We'll
Got
see
some
how this
big
goes.
stuff happening here today.
How's it feel to be back, Geechee?
It feels good.
Oh, for those listening, probably should introduce ourselves. I'm Zach. I'm an alumni here from swimming.
I'm Emma Grace. I'm also an alumni. We just finished up last year, so haven't been gone that long.
Yeah, it's exciting to be back, though. Exciting. It's a little bit different. It's really cool to see everyone here, though, and the way the program's evolved and the way things have changed, definitely.
I love this family aspect that you have. You all coming back, and then you can see it before the meet as well. Talk about that. Is that natural, or is that Coach Brad really hitting that message home? Or both, perhaps?
I think it's a bit of both. I think when we all first arrived that first year in, 2019?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was him and kind of getting us all to buy in. And then as the years kind of progressed, it was a lot of us kind of taking the ranks and getting the underclassmen to buy in each year and kind of seeing what they could do and getting them to buy in the program to kind of carry on that legacy once we all were gone.
But I think, too, with already establishing that and the way in which Brad recruited swimmers, it helps that that culture has already been established. So it's kind of like a buy-in now. Everybody buys into the culture that's already been created. And so it's important when people come to look at swimming here that they fit our culture that we already have. So it's nice how everybody's kind of joined in, and it's just kept building since we started here. And it's nice coming back and still seeing that, like, it's still involved and it's still there and not much has changed. And even though we don't know some of the newer swimmers on the team, like, everybody was still super welcoming to us because we're coming back. And once you're a part of the family, you're always a part of the family.
Definitely.
What are you guys up to now? Not today, just in life in general,
Yeah.
but also today.
I moved back home to Charleston, South Carolina, so I'm working there as an accountant and just kind of adjusting to being out of college and post-grad life. So
I am still enrolled here at Lynchburg. I started the Masters of Nonprofit Leadership this fall. So I'm still around, still on deck helping here and there every couple of days, but it's definitely exciting having everyone else back for sure.
Let's run down event 8 here. Men's
All right.
100-yard backstroke. Devin Tapia for Lynchburg. Did I get the last name right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's
yeah.
a freshman, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Tyler Sykes for Mary Washington. Will Casemeyer for Lynchburg. Paul Detovic for Mary Washington. Miles West for Lynchburg. Alex Ung. Logan Canton for Lynchburg. And then 2 Mary Washington swimmers in 8 and 9. That's Dietrich and Early. Casemeyer's a beast.
Yeah,
He's incredible.
definitely.
What makes him so good?
I think, especially over this past year, he's become a really, really, really key leader person on our team. I think a lot of us alumni, I think we've all kind of said that he's taken that role extremely well, and we're all really super proud of him and kind of what he's done with the program and kind of taking a lot of the underclassmen under his wing and on the day-to-day and just being a great person all around.
And it was another veteran, Miles West, that I
Yeah.
think won it there for Lynchburg.
Yep.
Miles, same way, just with the veteran leadership
Yeah.
and knowing what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
yeah, he's a little bit newer to the team. He transferred in last year, but he's been a huge asset to the team since he joined. And like I said, he bought into that team culture as well that's kind of, progressed our program as a whole. And Will embodies what it means to be a Lynchburg Hornet, so that really helps too in his performance, I think.
Well, we got, it'll be, I think this is Kenzie Bett swimming now,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
100 breaststroke. Bit of a showdown happening between Claire Galloway and
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. You're
Kenzie
right. We're in
Brooks.
event 9. You're right. Claire Galloway in the middle there for Lynchburg.
it's always cool seeing. She was one of the few of us that stayed for a 5th year, and so it's really cool getting to watch her still succeed and kind
so
of
you guys
carry
came
on
in
that
with
legacy.
her in the same class? That's so cool. Yeah. That's exciting. Well, what else? What do we want to talk about? Seriously, the show's yours, at least for a bit. You can't do any worse than I'm doing. No, I'm kidding.
What do you got?
I don't want to.
No, but I think it's definitely cool seeing the way the team's progressed and kind of the way it's evolved over the past 4 years. And I think we're all really excited to see that progression carry on over the next however many years.
I also, too, think it's really special as we were the first class to come in here and to kind of now looking back, not being on the team anymore, to see what we started and how far it's come. Because we never would have imagined our first year coming here, taking a bet on a new program, that it would turn anything out like this. So it's really cool seeing that.
Inquiring minds want to know what events you all swam.
Oh, gosh.
I swam distance freestyle, so the 1,000, the mile, 500 free, and I did swim butterfly as well, so mostly the 200 butterfly.
Yeah, you were one of those tough swimmers that we were hearing about earlier.
Yeah, I was similar. I swam a lot of the distance events, but I was one of the few, I think, that swam every race at one point in their college career, so
nice.
that was
True
that was
Iron
cool.
Man. Yeah, I love that. Those distance events, tell me a little bit about the pacing. You just kind of feel it. I know the teammate helps out with the board a bit, but just kind of how your body is that day, you're just kind of feeling it, trying to feel it out, but then sometimes you just have to push through all that pain and all that, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, for me at least, I would know as soon as I got in the water whether it was going to be a tough one or whether I felt comfortable with my pace. Usually, for such a long event, especially if it's the 1,000 or the mile, sometimes you can't push through it and you just have to find what's comfortable in order to make it, kind of make it through that whole race. But usually we practice pace a lot in practice, so you pretty much have a feeling of what that pace is you want to hold, and without even looking at the clock, you can pretty much tell whether you're on pace or not. And it's nice to have your counters too, because it's kind of like a little code language, like they'll shake it if you're off pace, so that way you know you need to pick it up a little bit. But it very much is, some days it hurts and some days you feel really good and feel like you can push your pace a little bit.
Yeah, and I think also with that, one thing I really enjoyed about it was the fact that it is sort of strategic based a lot of the times depending on the swimmer. So you'll have guys or girls that'll go out and really, really fast and just try and hang on, or you'll have people that'll kind of learn to pace it in ways that they can really back half it. And so I think it's a fun event to swim sometimes, but it definitely hurts a lot, don't get me wrong.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys go have fun. If we keep you on any longer, we'll have to pay you. We'll have to get you on the staff. But come back later and save me, and we'll see you around. And we'll see you back on campus later on for some
Thank you for
homecoming
having
stuff.
us. Have fun.
That was great. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, men's 100-yard freestyle, men's 100-yard breaststroke, is in the pool right now. Gunter Kreisen for Mary Washington in lane 2. Miles Fitzgerald for Lynchburg, lane 3. Aiden Dagey for Mary Washington in lane 4. Owen Howery for Lynchburg, lane 5. Will Berkey, lane 6 for Mary Washington. It looks like Berkey's going to take it there, I think. Evan Gavin, my guy Evan Gavin in lane 7 for Lynchburg. Dan Rojas in lane 8. Just looking up at the board there on the breaststroke. Aiden Dagey, was actually your winner there, I believe. Yes, for Mary Washington in lane 4. Will Berkey for Mary Washington, lane 6, came in second. Women's 200-yard butterfly. This is event 11. Emma Walker in lane 2 for Mary Washington. Molly Spano, lane 3 for Lynchburg. Bridget Wilson, lane 4 for the Eagles. Swimming in lane 5 is Charlotte Grieve for Lynchburg. Rose McCullough in lane 6 for Mary Washington. Savannah Solenberger, lane 7 for Lynchburg. Karina Long in lane 8 for Mary Washington. Women's 200-yard. I'll get it right eventually. Although maybe I shouldn't make that commitment. But yes, women's 200-yard butterfly in the pool right now. Event 11. Men's 200-yard butterfly is next. Women's 50-yard free, event 13. We will take a break after the men's 50-yard free. That is the 14th event. We may have a couple heats for the men's and women's 50-yard freestyle. We are freestyling up here, I think, Josh. It's a freestyle swim broadcast. Don't know what this is going to sound like and look like after the fact when we review the tape. LHSN, we always have film study where we review the tape on Monday morning after the weekend. And we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. No, seriously, though, shout out to Sam Graham, our outstanding colleague on the last swim broadcast. He was getting so many compliments, and I understand why, because in preparing for this one, I watched his previous broadcast and a couple others as well, but specifically the most recent one for Lynchburg against Bridgewater, and I was absolutely blown away. Women did get that win in the Code Red meet against Bridgewater. Men lost a close one. That was the first dual meet for Lynchburg this year. They did have the ODAC relays on September 30th. And it's a busy schedule in a long season for Lynchburg. Swimming is a weird one because you start in September, you go through the year, and you end up in late March. Potentially, if you're swimming into the NCAA championships, which is hopefully happening. Another close finish there. It looked like in lane 5, Charlotte Grieve got it by a body length. Actually, it was Bridget Wilson from Mary Washington that won it. Grieve did get Rose McCullen in lane 6 by half a body length or so. But another win for Mary Washington. Bridget Wilson taking first that time in the women's 200-yard butterfly. Men's 200 butterfly. Henry Walls in lane 1. Sean Gitchell in lane 2. Landon Ellis swims in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Jonathan Zimmerman in lane 4 for the Eagles. Andrew Forey for Lynchburg in lane 5. Larry Almanrento for Mary Washington in lane 6. Ben Myers in lane 7 for Lynchburg. Boone Fleener rounds it out in lane 8 for Mary Washington. This is the men's 200-yard butterfly. And then it's fascinating. Our next guest we're going to dive into. It would be nice if I could find somebody that did a medley and did every stroke, but I really want to unpack the differences in the stroke. I mean, obviously there's the noticeable visual differences. You know that, swim fans, but just as far as the preparation and how each different stroke taxes your body. I do know just from my little small studies that I did, as Larry Almanrento looks to be in first right now for Mary Washington. Andrew Foray in second for Lynchburg in lane 5. But in my brief swimming studies, I was told that that having fun with some fans. Sorry, I know that the freestyle and the backstroke tax the legs quite a bit more. Not that the lower body isn't in use in the butterfly and the breaststroke. But I want to learn more. I'm very curious. I want to learn more about the tech suits, the swim suits, the technology to shave off a few seconds here or there. I need to know that stuff. Men's 200-yard butterfly could come down to an exciting finish here. Looks like in lane 5, Andrew Foray for Lynchburg will get it. That's a Hornet win. Jonathan Zimmer coming in second for Mary Washington in lane 4. Larry Almanrento took third for Mary Washington in lane 6. Landon Ellis coming in fourth for Lynchburg in lane 3. We should be on to event number 13. Women's 50-yard freestyle. A true sprint, down and back here. This will be over in the blink of an eye. Brylan Gilbert for Lynchburg, lane 1. Megan Fallon, lane 2 for Mary Washington. Madeline Foreman, lane 3. Selby Heyman for Mary Washington, lane 4. Swimming in lane 5 is one of the all-time best at Lynchburg, Savvy Burrows. Lane 6 is Margaret Jones for Mary Washington. Sophia Shore in lane 7 for Lynchburg. Haley Perry, lane 8 for Mary Washington. Women's 50-yard freestyle. Looks like Savvy Burrows is already out to a great start, but she's got serious heat coming from Margaret Jones in lane 6 and lane 4. Burrows got there. Yes, officially on the board. Savvy Burrows 24.64 in the freestyle for Lynchburg. And it was two Mary Washington swimmers, the two that were surrounding her, Heyman and Jones, that came in second and third, respectively. Heat 2 features Sydney Strauss and Kenzie Betts for Lynchburg. Two Lynchburg swimmers in this one. They are in lanes 5 and lane 3. When you just scan the program records, Savvy Burrows has already got the program record in the 50 free at 24.00, 24 flat. She didn't quite get there on that one, but boy, she was close. And we've got several program record holders that are actually in the pool today, including Reagan Leach in that 200 individual medley. And most of our relay team members, I believe, are still swimming today. Although I see Corinne Ford on there, who was on our broadcast earlier for the 200 free relay. Here comes the men's freestyle 50. Mark Flewelling in lane 1, Eli Polkovic Polchevic in lane 2 for Mary Washington. Will Casemeyer for Lynchburg in lane 5. Darrell Everett for Mary Washington, lane 6. Wyatt Daskis, lane 7. This is coming down to the wire. They're like 7 wide at the finish. It was a photo finish all the way around. Still waiting for the times to get up on the board. I think they were that close that it's hard to tell. Everybody's looking around wondering what happened. All the guys are still in the pool waiting for the times to get up on the board. I think that was going to be unofficial. That finish is under further review, maybe. That was nuts. That really was a blink of an eye, too, Josh. We've got a second heat here for men's freestyle, 50-yard freestyle. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what happened, though. I think we might have had a scoring mishap, if you will. At least going up on the board there was a mishap, but all the guys stayed in the pool looking up at the scoreboard to try to figure it out. It was close in that men's 50-yard freestyle, wasn't it? That's worth scrolling back and taking another look, but you'll have to do that on your own, on your device that you're watching on. I think we got our 15-minute break now, fans. We've got our 15-minute break here inside the Liberty Natatorium. So let's do that ourselves. Let's take a breath and get hydrated and get some nutrition here, and we'll come back and talk to you in just a little bit. I'm sure we'll have more special guests, and I know we'll have more fun. It's Lynchburg and Mary Washington homecoming swim meet for the Hornets on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. We're back on LHSN. Kyle Haney hanging out with you, and my two special guests. I didn't already forget your names, but I want to let you introduce yourself to the fans and tell everybody what you're doing today. I'm going to stand up because it is loud in here. Nobody warned me that these meets were going to be so loud.
Yeah, I'm Ashton Watterson. I'm a sophomore on the team. Right now I'm injured, so I'm just helping out, taking splits for the team, and doing whatever the coaches need me to do.
Yeah, I'm Kylie. I'm also a sophomore, also injured, so really just being a part of the team and helping out in any way I can.
Well, I want to talk about these injuries a little bit because I know my buddy Caroline Inskeep, she's like been battling these injuries her entire career. I don't know. I think most people don't realize how physically demanding swimming is. I mean, talk about how tough it is to stay healthy, and then sometimes you get these setbacks where you think you're healthy and then you get in and try it and you're like, nope, it still hurts.
Yeah, basically swimming's a lot of shoulder injuries. That's what you see. Like, you don't get a lot of like ankle injuries or stuff like that. And so a lot of us try to go to like the athletic trainer room with Caroline, try to strengthen up the shoulders, but sometimes with just all the demand you got on the shoulders, injuries happen, and kind of got to live with it, work with Caroline again, work with PTs to just try to get back to the water.
Yeah, I agree with everything Ashton just said. It is a lot doing thousands of yards a day, pooling. It's a lot of exertion. And then once you're at that point where you're ready to recover, you think you're recovering. Recovering is really, really important, but sometimes you got to keep swimming, and yeah.
I guess we can do things to sort of keep the fitness up. You can hop on the bike, you can run around, you can do those things. There's probably some value in that, but no substitute to actually getting in the pool, right?
No, I mean, biking's good for the cardio, but right now I'm trying to get in the water and kick. Like, I'm not allowed to use the shoulder yet, but kicking's the best thing that I think I can do right now, just because of the water aspect. But, I mean, biking's a great substitute also.
Let's jump into the meet so far. How's everybody feeling down there on the pool deck? You had great energy early. We've had some great performances. Mary Washington, a tough team. What's the vibes like down there amongst the Lynchburg Hornets?
Yeah, so going into this meet, it was going to be every point, every race. People just need to step up where they can, and our team so far has done a really good job. Even if it's not first place, it's battling for that second and third place position too. So the energy's been really, really good across the team. So we're just really hoping to keep that going for the rest of the meet.
I heard the pre-meet instructions from Coach Brad Dunn up here. I was just kind of eavesdropping. Man, Coach Brad is awesome. I was ready to run through a wall, maybe not a brick wall, but I would have run through a drywall for Coach Brad after that the pregame huddle he had with you guys. Talk about Coach Dunn and the entire coaching staff. The assistant coaches probably don't get enough credit either.
Yeah, I mean, Brad's great. Set us up for a really great finish to the season last year, and kind of sucked. We had a whole different change to the coaching staff this year, but I mean, I think it turned out phenomenally. Having Chris come up from being a swimmer to a coach, I think is really working out. He's got that connection with us, and then the knowledge that Emily and Liv have coming from their own respective programs, Liberty and Richmond, I think they bring a lot of good knowledge and just a great atmosphere to the team. I think they're great.
Yeah, not only competition-wise, but I think all around the coaches do a really, really good job with just supporting the team. Even with Ash and I both being out of the water, they still have found a lot of ways where we can stay involved in the team and with the team without actually being in the water competing, which has been really nice too.
I love that you guys, even though you're injured, you still have a role to play for the team taking these splits, but dive into that and explain that to me and the uninitiated fans out there. What exactly are you tracking there? Tell us a little bit more.
Whenever we take splits, we start from the very beginning of the race up until the end. Generally, we go by 50s in their increments, so splits were really important, especially in the relays when everyone's swimming their own 50s or 100s, so we can get that individual time that each swimmer goes. And then also just in the 200 events and the 1,000, just making sure we're staying consistent with our times. And then splits are also important to look at whenever we're going into tapering and seeing when it's time to like dial in like this part of the race. You can pick up the pace a little bit, and yeah, it kind of goes with a lot of analysis with the rest of the race.
I love it. I think both you two have a career in coaching, maybe, or broadcasting potentially, because I love what you're saying. But what happened at the end of the men's 50 free? It was like 7 guys touching the wall at once, and then they never put times on the board. I mean, do you know who won? What happened?
I don't know. I got one time, and that was it, because I saw it flash on the board real quick, and then everything went blank. But
I mean, officially, we've got a winner down there, right?
Officially, yeah, but it just wasn't displayed for everybody in the stands.
I need to investigate that. That's probably something that a professional broadcaster would be doing right now. But we're having fun. It's the swim party on LHSN. I love it. Hey, homecoming weekend, that's a blast too, right? All kinds of fun stuff going on, seeing old friends, making new friends.
Yeah, last night at practice we had some of our alumni come and visit. Some of them got in the water and we did some racing. So it was really exciting, and especially with this being a younger program, last year was the first time we had seniors go through the program for all 4 years. So I think it's just a very special year, and getting to see all the alumni, being a sophomore, just seeing everyone from my freshman year is just really fun.
Beautiful. All right, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the rest of the meet. Root the team on. Get back to work, all that stuff, and we'll talk again soon. We'll hang out. We'll see you up here again. And, this is just incredible. I'm having the time of my life up here. But we do need to do some investigative journalism and find out who won the 50-yard free. I'm going to text my guy Evan Gates, who is down there doing the PA for the meet. It looks like we're about ready to swim again. I'm going to make a microphone adjustment here, Josh. Hold tight. It's now the Kyle and Claire show. Claire Evko has joined me. A lot of times I say the broadcast booth, but we're just up here hanging out amongst the fans. So it's great, Claire. Claire has already warned us that she has been slightly ill, so don't expect her voice to sound amazing, but I think it's perfect the way it is, Claire. How are you enjoying the meet so far?
It's been really awesome, super fun to watch all my former teammates and just see them have a lot of fun. I mean, that's all we can really ask for, is just having so much fun and enjoying it. I mean, you only get 4 years, so got to take time to enjoy it.
Yeah, you're great buddies with Inskeep like I am. I hope we got some Caroline Inskeep fans watching. I'm pretty sure there are. If they're not in here.
Yes, for sure. Yes, and then Claire Galloway as well, so hopefully we have some of those fans watching as well.
We got some fan favorites in this women's 100-yard freestyle for Lynchburg as well, with some real heavy hitters, some record setters. Delaney Kennedy in lane 3, Savvy Burrows lane 5, Sophia Shore. Yeah.
Aaron in lane 9, and Sophia in lane 1. So that's awesome.
It is. For Mary Washington, it's Emma Walker lane 2, Selby Heyman lane 4, Ashlyn Dietrich lane 6, Jessica Hinson lane 8. Your swimming experience.
My swimming experience? Yeah. What about?
Do you have any?
It was great. I loved it. I loved the community, and I was a 100 and 200 breaststroker, and then by proxy, by breaststroke, you become an IMer naturally. So I swim a lot of IM as well.
Well, tell me about that, because I want to learn more about the strokes. And you said breaststroke, naturally you become an IMer. Walk me through that, because again, I'm a novice.
Okay, so so when I was growing up, swimming club, we had this winter meet, and I would always swim breaststroke, and then I would swim on that Friday. You had to either swim the 500 free or the 400 IM, and I would always swim the 500 free. And then my coach comes up to me and goes, "Some of our best breaststrokers are our best IMers." So then I decided, I was like, well, let me try this 400 IM out and see what all the hype is about. And then I had a real love for 200 IM after that, just because it's shorter. And breaststroke, I mean, I'm a horrible backstroker, but that breaststroke, I can beat some people on that breaststroke leg, that's for sure. So that always made it more fun.
I love that. Savvy Burrows did get the win there in the women's 100-yard freestyle. It looked like Selby Heyman came in second and Delaney Kennedy third. We've got another heat here with Madeline White, Haley Perry, Kylie Kolka, and Amanda Sheward for Mary Washington. The alumni, I love the fact that we got all these former swimmers hanging out. I know it's homecoming weekend, that's part of it, but so cool to see the old friends and see the faces that you love, isn't it?
Yes, it very much is. And so I actually graduated a year early, so I graduated in 2022, but I was really supposed to graduate in 2023, so it's super fun seeing last year I couldn't attend, but this year it's more fun having more swim alumni since, the swim teams, this is its 5th year, so it's just really awesome to have. We're starting to get a little bit of a bigger group of alumni, which makes it, even more fun. So
yeah, I think the future is just going to be incredible at these things because, as you said, you get more and more alumni, more and more energy and excitement, and we're half a decade into the swim program. That's kind of marvelous too. What else? What are you up to these days?
So I actually work in college athletics. I'm in sales at VCU, and I just got my master's, so I am super excited Lynchburg swimming is really where it started for me, and my love for college athletics. I just have a sheer passion for all things college athletics, and it's super fun to being in the field that I set out to be, and I think naturally I have a very good perspective since I do have that student athlete experience. I think we do need more people in college athletics who do have that student athlete experience, especially with the way things are trending now. So yeah, that is what I'm up to. VCU sales, so if you want to come to a VCU men's basketball game, season starts soon, so please let me know for tickets.
I will. Go Rams, go Hornets. And when you're like the athletic director up there, look me up for the swim meets. I'll be better by then. I'll be a pro by then.
Admin is down the road for sure. I would love to be an admin 8 to 10 years, but I interned with the ODAC commissioner my final year at Lynchburg, so I've had and I interned with John Waters as well, so I've had so much fun interning in college athletics. So yeah.
Somebody should have warned me how loud these swim meets get. I love it.
Oh yeah, they definitely do get
rock concert in here.
Oh my gosh, yes. And especially now that we have alums and a lot of parents are here too, and Mary Wash, they always bring they're not too far away, so they definitely bring a good crowd as well. I think they travel well.
We've got young alums with the strong lungs and voices now. That helps. Yes. Hey, we'll let you run. Go enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much.
We'll hang out later. We'll see you at Shelley later on, and then walking around the natatorium here.
Hornets.
Always a great day to be a Hornet.
Always.
Let's get.
I still wear red on Fridays.
I know. Really?
Yeah, always.
Don't tell the Rams.
Yeah, don't tell them. They don't like that at all.
This is great.
I'll start sneaking it in for basketball season. I'll sneak it in.
You want to stay for the whole broadcast, don't you? She gave me the cutoff signal there. Yeah, that was great. No, have some fun with the pals. This is awesome. Josh, let's get back up to date here, up to speed. We're in heat number 2 of the men's 100-yard freestyle. We kind of breezed right over heat 1 of the men's 100-yard free. I'm going to make that microphone adjustment here. The LHSN swim party on the web. I'm trying to think of maybe a little bit more of a clever name for it, but that's basically what we got going on, a revolving door for alums and whoever to come on the broadcast. Love to get some Mary Washington. Love to get a Mary Washington fan or swimmer on the broadcast for some balance. I know we've got a lot of Eagle fans watching. It is Lynchburg homecoming Eagle fans, so Not that we need to apologize, but maybe a little bit of an explanation there, because we do have quite a few former swimmers in the house with us, Lynchburg swimmers. So don't want to take the spotlight away from Mary Washington by any means. We are into event number 17. This is event 17, women's 200-yard backstroke. A swimmer we just mentioned, Caroline Inskeep in lane 1. Juliana Bleeker in lane 2 for Mary Washington. Caitlin Moore for Lynchburg, lane 3. Phoebe Root, lane 4 for Mary Wash. Lindsay Hare swims in lane 5 for Lynchburg. Ann Carr for Mary Washington in 6. Sydney Parrott, lane 7 for Lynchburg. Caroline Turner in lane 8 for Mary Washington. Jordan Reeder in lane 9 for Lynchburg. Women's 200-yard backstroke. Men's 200-yard backstroke next. As we're making our way through the meet here, we will have another 15-minute break after event number 24. This is race number 17. On a fun day here at the Liberty Natatorium. It is the University of Lynchburg and the University of Mary Washington Eagles. You might be able to see on your screen, and it was mentioned by Corinne Ford earlier, I believe, Lynchburg in the red swim caps, Mary Washington in the silver. I can help you diagnose and dissect everything that's going on. And Lynchburg's been in the odd lanes. Lynchburg is taking the odd lanes here in the meet today. That's another way that you can somewhat figure out what's happening, because I'm sure at times I haven't been helping you figure out what happened. Lindsay Hare won the race for Lynchburg, the 200-yard backstroke. Hare came in first, 1 minute, 44.27 seconds. The names got taken off there, so I didn't get to see all of them, but congratulations to Lindsay Hare for a race win. The race is not over. The race is going to be over here. Came down to a tight finish. It was not Lindsay Hare that won it. She finished second. Lindsay Hare was in first, but Phoebe Root overtook Lindsay on the last 25 yards there, I believe. Phoebe Root, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Lindsay Hare, it was a close finish. Couple tenths behind there for Lindsay Hare. Ann Carr came in third for Mary Washington. Juliana Bleeker, fourth for Mary Washington. Men's 200-yard backstroke, set, ready to go. Lane 2 for Mary Washington, Paul Dadovic. Owen Howery swims in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Kyle Dietrich in lane 4 for Mary Washington. It's Eric Witt swimming out of lane 5, or in lane 5 rather. Alex Ung for Mary Washington in 6. Mark Flewelling for Lynchburg in lane 7. AJ Green, lane 8 for Mary Washington. This is the men's 200-yard backstroke. Event number 18. We're flying through the proceedings here. No delays at all. We will have another 15-minute break after event 24. Can get so much great information at lynchburgsports.com. I always like to mention that. Fabulous website. Nobody does a better job keeping fans in the know, highlighting and spotlighting our incredible student athletes than our Lynchburg sports information / athletic communications team and the digital media team. Got all the social media destinations covered, all our bases covered, both ends of the pool. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think we're even on some of the other social media spots as well, but those are the big ones. So many great inside stories. You can learn more about these athletes, our wonderful coaches. Sporting culture at Lynchburg has never been better. You heard that from all of our swim alumni that have come on the broadcast, or alumni rather. Grammar not my strong suit, especially during this long swim meet. But yes, the sporting culture, the athletic culture all the way around at Lynchburg is just incredible. So much support from athlete to athlete, coach to coach, different sports. Everybody rallies behind each other. There's none of those rivalries or weirdness maybe that you have some places or in the past. It's just a great place to be around. So many great facilities to watch events. And Lynchburg, of course, blessed to be able to use this Liberty University facility. Eric Witt will get the win in the 200 backstroke for Lynchburg. A.J. Green in lane 8 for Mary Washington came in second. Nice race for A.J. Green over there in lane 8. Alex Ung third for Mary Washington. In the men's 200-yard backstroke, we will have a second heat. This is 3 Mary Washington swimmers. Tyler Sykes, Ben Early, Jack Schreiber. Got a fourth swimmer on deck there for Mary Washington. Not on the heat sheet, so a late addition to this 200-yard backstroke. Of course, most of you swimming fans will know that sometimes the swimmer gets added a little bit late. Sometimes it's back to those injuries that we had been discussing prior in the broadcast. You warm it up a little bit, you see how it feels. Give the coach the thumbs up. Yeah, I can swim. I'll try it. And maybe sometimes you might even try it, even if you know you're not necessarily at your best. But I think if you can swim without risking further injury, why not jump in and give it a go? Well, that would be one to ask one of our former swimmers when they come back. I was hoping we could get down there on the pool deck and stick a microphone in Coach Brad Dunn's face. Hear from him a little bit. Get some real inside information. But, of course, he's busy leading this wonderful team. Love the new assistant coaches. Heard that. So much young talent in the coaching realm. And that's across the board, but specifically here at the University of Lynchburg. All of our sports, great young coaches, outstanding veteran coaches too. It's a beautiful mix, really. I think when you can have that mix of youth and veteran, throw a few middle-aged guys and gals in there, you got all your bases covered. It's great. Each person kind of brings their own flavor, their own ingredients to the special sauce that gets mixed up and turned into success, hopefully. Hopefully beyond even beyond the pool and the field and the court. Hopefully in life, too. The extra swimmer that was added is Eric Hupp from Mary Washington. So it's Sykes, Early, Schreiber, and Hupp in this Heat 2 of the 200-yard backstroke. I think it's coming to a close right now. It looked like lane 6, Jack Schreiber beat out his peers and teammates there with a time of 2:09 and some change, actually. I beg your pardon. 2 minutes, 9 seconds and some change there for Jack Schreiber. Women's 200-yard backstroke in lane 1. Peyton Ptolemy for Lynchburg. Lane 3 for Lynchburg. Caroline Mariota. Lane 5 is Claire Galloway. Lane 7, Abigail Schneider. Lane 9, Ryland Gilbert. For Mary Washington, right to left. In lane 2, Peyton Lawrence. Kinsey Brooks swims in lane 4. Karina Long in lane 6. And Megan Reinold in lane 8. Women's 200-yard breaststroke. Claire Galloway is the school record holder in the event. 200 breast and 100 breast for Claire Galloway. And, of course, Claire Galloway has got some medley relay records that she holds because of her expertise and prowess in this breaststroke. See if Claire Galloway can hold off the hard-charging Kinsey Brooks. Karina Long also in lane 6. I believe Brooks has the lead in lane 4. Double check that and get to the wall here and see if we can get a time. Yeah, it's Kinsey Brooks in lane 4. Right now, your current race leader. Claire Galloway's in 3rd. Abigail Schneider swimming well in lane 7 for Lynchburg. She touched the wall 2nd. Outstanding stuff so far in the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Getting a feel for the event. Energy for the crowd, I wouldn't say has died down, but it's kind of settled into just a dull roar at the moment rather than those loud pulses that we were having when we started the event, the relays, kicking things off with the relays. That gets everybody's juices flowing. The engine gets revved up early for that. Claire Galloway still in 3rd at the moment. Abigail Schneider in 2nd for Lynchburg. Kinsey Brooks for Mary Washington maintaining the race lead. Brooks got a great turn. She stayed under nearly half the length of the pool here in the 200-yard breaststroke. I think Kinsey Brooks is going to really cruise to a pretty good victory here. 2 minutes and 25 and a half seconds for Kinsey Brooks in her victory. Claire Galloway working to finish 2nd. She did overtake Abigail Schneider, who will come in 3rd. Both Hornet swimmers there. And back to the health and the fitness. You never quite know what each swimmer is going through. Never know if they're in the A+ shape, 100% shape. And we're still back to the schedule. This is the schedule that starts. First meet was those ODAC relays in late September, and it goes. ODAC championships are February 8th, 9th, and 10th. NCAA championships are March 20th. So you don't necessarily want to be racing your career times and setting your records today. If you're just that strong and that healthy and you're at peak shape in late October, then have at it. But you're probably not going to see a ton of records falling in a race like this today. So you don't want to peak too soon in a big season. Lynchburg's got high hopes on the men's and women's sides. Conrad Tan in lane 9 is your current race leader here in the men's. He's in lane 8. Excuse me. Scanning the heat sheet and the board. This is men's 200-yard breaststroke. Dan Rojas swims in lane 2 for Mary Washington. Jonathan Zimmer in lane 4. Aiden DG in lane 6. Gunter Kreisen in lane 8. No, that's Conrad Tan in lane 8. So we do have a change there for Mary Washington. Conrad Tan is in lane 8. For Lynchburg, we'll go right to left again. Lane 3, it's Miles Fitzgerald. Andrew Foray in lane 5. And Nathaniel Milligan in lane 7 in the men's 200-yard breaststroke. We did get an adjustment there from the pre-race lane assignments and race matchups. It does look to be Conrad Tan. Good insert right there for Mary Washington. He's swimming in lane 8, and he is your race leader at the moment. Jonathan Zimmer from Mary Washington in 2nd. Andrew Foray's in 3rd for Lynchburg. Just about 2 minutes into this race, this men's 200-yard breaststroke. Women's 500-yard freestyle up next, so a little bit more distance there. Pacing, strategy, all those things we talked about earlier in our broadcast. Looks like Conrad Tan in lane 8 is going to win it in the 200-yard breast. He did. Jonathan Zimmer actually came in 2nd for Mary Washington in lane 4. Andrew Foray finishes 3rd for Lynchburg in lane 3. Men's 200-yard breaststroke in the books. So now we get the women's 500-yard free. Looks like we've got a full house there. Lanes 1 through 8 occupied. Jordan Adamitz in lane 1 for Lynchburg. Ainsley Graff in lane 2 for Mary Washington. It's Bryn Dyer in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Marina Klein in lane 4 for the Eagles. Molly Spano in lane 5 for Lynchburg. Swimming in lane 6 is Ashley Dyer for Mary Washington. In lane 7, it's Madeline Corbett for Lynchburg. Rose McCullens in lane 8 for Mary Washington. And Francesca Cucina in lane 9 for Lynchburg. So we got Bryn Dyer for Lynchburg in lane 3. We got Ashley Dyer in lane 6 for Mary Washington. I gotta go get some info now. Wondering perhaps if the two swimmers are related. Somebody watching the broadcast probably knows the answer already, but let me check in on it. Bryn Dyer is I believe Bryn Dyer is a sophomore from Chesterfield, Virginia, James River High School. The bio on Lynchburg Sports says siblings Livy and Tegan. So, maybe they're cousins, though. Let's go to the Mary Washington website. Should have asked some of our Lynchburg alums that were hanging out. The LHSN research team is working hard to figure it out. Marina Klein in first right now for Mary Washington. Molly Spano currently swimming in second for Lynchburg. This is fun, though. Ashley Dyer's also from Chesterfield, Virginia. Different high school from Bryn Dyer. It's like investigative reporting, investigative journalism. And there's a reason why I haven't figured out the answer yet, Josh. It's because I would not have made a good investigative reporter, not a good detective. Not a ton on the personal, although Ashley Dyer is a club swim coach in her spare time, if there's any of that as a student athlete these days in college athletics. Summertime, get a little break there. That's a great thing, though, about our athletes on both these teams. It's this boundless energy to do things, and selfless things too, things to help others, giving back, coaching young swimmers in her free time there. Ashley Dyer, fabulous. Marina Klein is still in first for Mary Washington. Molly Spano still in second for Lynchburg. Ashley Dyer in sixth. Ashley Dyer in lane 6th. I believe she's in 4th. Battle for 3rd and 4th right now. In our women's 500-yard freestyle. Pool is 25 yards long. So the math on that ends up being 20 trips. Or down and back one time. You could phrase it that way, I guess. Still in the lead in lane 4, Marina Klein for Mary Washington. Molly Spano for Lynchburg hangs on to second. It is Ashley Dyer in third for Mary Washington. Marina Klein is a freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana. Down there in the great state of Louisiana. Bringing her talents all the way up here to Mary Washington. Cool stuff. It's cool when you look at the roster construction of these two teams. Got a little bit of time to do that in these longer races. You know, you look at Lynchburg, loads of talent from the Commonwealth. Quite a bit of talent from the Tidewater area as well, thinking about Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Hampton, Newport News. Of course, a lot Chesapeake as well, like my great friend Caroline Inskeep. A lot of great talent from Northern Virginia, Centerville, Woodbridge, Springfield, talent around the capital area, Richmond, Chesterfield. And of course, we've got athletes from Manchester, Maryland. We've got Savvy Burrows from Wisconsin. I love the Midwest. We were out in Wisconsin. Oh, we weren't in Wisconsin. We were in the Midwest, rather, with the Lynchburg baseball team's national championship run. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's coming to a conclusion here. Marina Klein will take first. Ashley Dyer gets in second for Mary Washington. Molly Spano third for Lynchburg in the women's 500-yard freestyle. Men are coming up next. And in lane 2 for Mary Washington in this men's 500-yard free, Jacob Robinette. Conrad Tan will swim in lane 4 for Mary Washington. Sean Gitchell in lane 6 for the Eagles. Quinn Davenhall in lane 8. For Lynchburg, they'll start in lane 3 with Ben Myers. Lane 5, Ahmad Woodson. Lane 7, Toby Lima. Toby Lima and Ahmad Woodson, definitely fan favorites at Lynchburg, student favorites, but just fans of all shapes and sizes and ages at Lynchburg. Off to a good start here in the men's 500 free. Everybody pretty close, although I do think Ahmad Woodson's gotten out to about a second lead over second place Gunter Kreisen, who was swimming in lane 2 for Mary Washington. So good start for Ahmad Woodson. He, of course, is strong. Ahmad Woodson's a record holder in longer event, the mile event. This is the 500-yard freestyle. Kevin Bennett set the Lynchburg record back on March 5th of 2021 in this event at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And Ahmad Woodson's the kind of guy you just wonder if he could break something like that. Very strong out there for Lynchburg. Woodson still in first. Basically 90 seconds into this race. And a little bit more on Ahmad Woodson. He is from Palmyra, Virginia, central part of the state, Fluvanna County. The Fluvanna County Flukos, I think one of the all-time great nicknames in Virginia High School League. The Flukos, and it's wild because the name comes from, they combined the first part of Fluvanna, F-L-U, and count the first part of county. So the Fluvanna County Flukos, if that makes sense. That's where the name comes from. I think it's hilarious. I love it. Ahmad Woodson has career aspirations to work in marketing in the motorsports industry. I got some motorsports background. I got to connect with Ahmad Woodson. He was a third-team All-ODAC swimmer last year. And Ahmad Woodson is just in his sophomore season. That's back to what I mean about who knows what kind of records this guy could set. 6'2", got the wingspan, got the frame. Physique is there. Work ethic is there. Love the things you hear about Ahmad Woodson. Swimming in the lead right now for the Lynchburg Hornets. And a pretty good lead as well. About not quite a half a length of a pool, but a third at least. Let's see what it ends up being on the board. Yeah, it's a 6.5 second lead for Ahmad Woodson over Sean Gitchell for Mary Washington, who's swimming in second. Ben Myers for Lynchburg in lane 3, currently third. Racing well. Women's 100-yard butterfly next. And then the men's 100-yard butterfly after that will be event 24, and then we'll be having another break after that. So we got our meet started right at 12:30, past the 2 o'clock hour now. I think we're making pretty good time. It is 28 events total. So after that final break, we'll really be on the downhill slide, and I know we'll get to see some great stuff with the freestyle relays at the end. Individual medleys, 200-yard individual medleys for men's and women's will come after that break as well. Always exciting to watch those. Ahmad Woodson, still your leader in first. And the lead is growing, in fact. It's now up to a 7-second advantage for Ahmad Woodson over Sean Gitchell. Ben Myers is in third. Myers is about 2 seconds behind Gitchell. If Lynchburg could potentially, as Toby Lima's swimming in fourth, if Lynchburg could potentially sneak out a 1-2-3 finish here, you'd have to feel really, really good about that, I think. Home stretch now. 4:33 on the board for Ahmad Woodson. Sean Gitchell clocking in at 4 minutes and 40 1/4 seconds. They do that in horse racing. They talk about 1/4 and 3/4 seconds and even other fractions that are sometimes difficult to understand. But in the racing world, maybe that's what you need to go with. Crowd coming alive now as the race reaches the end. Ahmad Woodson does win it. 5 minutes and 1 second and some change. Sean Gitchell came in second for Mary Washington. It was Ben Myers in third. Toby Lima for Lynchburg, lane 7, finishing fourth. Good, strong race there. And congratulations to Ahmad Woodson. Can't wait to see where his career goes. And this season as well. It is still the start of a very long season. Mentioned just the third race, really, for Lynchburg. Men finished fourth in that ODAC relay race. Women second. Men lost to Bridgewater a couple weeks ago. And the women did beat the Bridgewater Eagles a couple weeks ago. Next race, is a week from today, October 28th, Saturday. That's in Lexington, taking on Washington and Lee. We are now swimming the lost the information here. Yes, it is women's 100-yard butterfly. Women's 100-yard butterfly. Caroline Inskeep, lane 1. Megan Kim, lane 2. Madeline Foreman for Lynchburg, lane 3. Bridget Wilson, Mary Washington, lane 4. Reagan Leach, lane 5. Margaret Jones, lane 6 for Mary Washington. Charlotte Grieve, lane 7 for Lynchburg. Megan Fallon, lane 8 for Mary Washington. Reagan Leach and I were joking around. I asked her if she was going to career it today. She kind of shrugged and said, no, probably not. Then as the conversation went on, she said, well, you never know, maybe so. And then the conversation went even further, and Reagan Leach said, yeah, I think I could do it. So it was great. It's great fun to see her get into it. Times are up. Bridget Wilson won it. Reagan Leach finished fourth. Second was Margaret Jones for Mary Washington, I believe. Second heat here. And then back to the team expectations, personal expectations. You've got your own time and target that you're trying to beat. And even though you might finish fourth or fifth, that might be a career swim for you that day. Or maybe just felt great. So you have to take those victories any way you can get them. You have to focus on the process, not necessarily the product, although it's nice when the product does pay off and you do get to set a career mark. Or maybe it's just a career mark for this time in the season. That's the other thing to think about. If you can be a second or two ahead of where you were last year in late October, then there's your small win and your victory right there. Heat 2 features Kylie Kolka in lane 5 for Lynchburg and Sydney Strauss in lane 3 for Lynchburg. And this is back to what we were just saying, where you're swimming in the second heat. You might only have one or two other swimmers in there with you. Got to just focus on your process. Focus on what you can do. Find that internal motivation. Yes, you're still going to have the motivation and support from your team and your coaches, but it's that internal drive sometimes that'll get you through and take you to some greatness. Here we go for men's 100-yard butterfly. Looks like we do have 2 heats scheduled for this. Heat 1 for Lynchburg in the odd lanes again. Jackson Sitton, lane 1. Landon Ellis, lane 3. Miles West, lane 5. Lane 7, Mark Flewelling. In the even lanes, right to left for Mary Washington, Zachary Cherry, Kyle Dietrich, Larry Almorinto, and Preston Trevi. 8 in the pool here for the men's 100-yard butterfly. Larry Almorinto, lane 6, currently in the lead for Mary Washington. Miles West, swimming hard in lane 5, sits in second for Lynchburg. Good turn on the far end of the pool there for Almorinto and West as well. They're neck and neck. This is a dogfight to the finish. Crowd coming alive. Lane 5, Miles West. Did he get to the wall first? Yes, he did. Outstanding finish there. 53.35 on the board. Miles West edging out Larry Almorinto. Kyle Dietrich not far behind in third for Mary Washington. That's one, even if it's your first swim meet, when you hear that crowd coming alive, you know something exciting is happening, a good close finish like that. And now our Lynchburg teammates showing their support, voicing their approval for Miles West. Good hard swimming there in the 100-yard butterfly. Heat 2 features Antoine Bifor in lane 3 for Lynchburg. Wyatt Dacus in lane 5. Boone Fleener is swimming in lane 4 for Mary Washington. Boone Fleener in first at the moment in Heat 2 for the 100-yard butterfly. Break time after this scheduled for 15 minutes or so. Last one felt maybe more like it was 20, but who's counting, right? Glad you're joining us for some or all of this collegiate Division III swimming action between Mary Washington and the University of Lynchburg. Fleener got it in Heat 2 at 57.18 seconds. And now it is break time again. The conclusion is coming up after the break. Scheduled to be women's 200-yard IM individual medley. Event 26 will be the men's 200 IM. Women's 400 freestyle relay is event 27. And we are wrapping it all up with the men's 400-yard freestyle relay for event 28. Kyle Haney, poolside, having a blast. Pool party on a homecoming Saturday for the University of Lynchburg. We're back in 10 or 15 to wrap it up for you on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. And we're ready to restart. After our 15-minute break, we're back in the pool with the women's 200-yard IM. Lane 1, Peyton Ptolemy for Lynchburg. Lane 3 for Lynchburg, Savannah Solenberger. Lane 5, Delaney Kennedy. Lane 7, Grace Zalkin. Lane 9, Francesca Kuchena. And let's see for Mary Washington, Peyton Lawrence in lane 2. Kinsey Brooks, lane 4. Juliana Bleeker, lane 6. And Karina Long in lane 8. Women's 200-yard IM. Everything in play here, and a lot up for grabs. We did get a points update. Let me give you a points update real quick, fans, because that could be noteworthy. University of Mary Washington women's team currently leading at the moment. They've got 140.5 points, 140.5. University of Lynchburg women, 85.5. Still looking for a strong finish here. And I was down there at the pool deck. Most of the team just mentioning, hey, if we can get over 100 points total, we would feel pretty good about that. Back to that standard. It's not always whether you get a victory or beat the other team. That's not always how you measure success, personally or team-wise. That seemed to be the goal and seemed to be the rallying cry that Coach Dunn was sharing with his swim team. Hey, let's get over 100 on the ladies' side, and we could feel pretty good about that. On the men's side, men's is much closer. In fact, the meet is still very much up for grabs. University of Mary Washington leads by 4, 115 to the University of Lynchburg's 111. And vibes were pretty high down there in the pool deck all the way around. A few swimmers, obviously, not exactly thrilled with how they performed, but overall, it seemed like the overall team atmosphere was still very positive. Everybody felt pretty good, and the finish was going to be pretty good as well. Finish to this one looking pretty good. In lane 4, Kinsey Brooks will win it for Mary Washington. Coming on strong in lane 5 was Delaney Kennedy, a second-place finish. Juliana Bleeker finished third in lane 6 for Mary Washington. Karina Long for Mary Washington in lane 8, finishing fourth. Peyton Lawrence in 5th place for Mary Washington. So 1, 3, 4, and 5 there for the Eagles in the women's 200-yard IM. Delaney Kennedy, the standout for Lynchburg, finishing second in lane 2. Delaney Kennedy was in lane 5, I beg your pardon, fans. Heat 2, it's going to be a solo swim for Ainsley Graff. And she got a round of support for her teammates. They're getting into it. That's another one where you're just a lone swimmer. It's nice when the teammates get into it a little bit extra for you, because they know that can kind of be a spotlight. It's even more than a spotlight when you're swimming solo out there. You're almost just under a microscope at that point. But Ainsley Graff is going to make it work here in the Heat 2 for Mary Washington. Set the men's 200-yard IM for you here. Max Carrico for Lynchburg will swim in lane 1. Lane 3 for the Hornets, Eric Witt. Andrew Foray is in lane 5. Owen Howerly in lane 7 for Lynchburg, and Henry Walls will swim in lane 9 for the Hornets. Mary Washington's men's 200-yard IM lineup looks like this. In lane 2, Alex Ung. Forward will be Conrad Tan. Jonathan Zimmer is in lane 6, and Dan Rojas will swim in lane 8. Ainsley Graff, you can, I think, see in the left part of your screen there, her teammates crowded around, rooting her on for the solo swim for Ainsley Graff. Mary Washington is in action this Thursday, actually. Eagles will travel to Ashland to take on the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets at Macon. Mary Washington's got their alumni meet on Saturday, October the 28th. That's in 1 week. Say hello to any Mary Washington swimming alumni or getting cranked up for that. Hope you're training hard a week out, feeling good. And then Mary Washington's got the full schedule in November. Back-to-back, they're at the Yellow Jacket Invitational in Chesterfield in early December. Then they'll break for fall break, or winter break, rather. And they'll more guests, more special guests. This is fabulous. Gonna get started with the 200-yard men's IM. You, good sir, announce yourself to our fans listening. Tell everybody what you're doing.
I'm Gavin Whitendorf. I swam the 100 free, and I'm a senior at Lynchburg.
That's awesome. How'd you feel in the 100 free, Gavin?
I felt very good. Started out strong, came back feeling good. Overall, it was a good race.
Tell us about that 100-yard free, basically an all-out sprint, right? I mean, you're just hard as you can the entire time?
Yes, sir, you are. You have to start out as hard as you can go, try to get ahead in the first 25. The second 50 there, you got to keep it up, and then final 25, you have to bring it home as hard as you can.
And this is a close one on the men's side. I think you guys are 4 points down after the break there. Feel like we can take this home or
yes,
at least
I do.
Get close? Yeah.
I think we can take it home in the final relay here.
We're
coming back strong in the 200-yard IM here. Yep. Looks like we're doing well.
Tell us about the training for the 100 free. I mean, walk us through a normal practice. I know every practice isn't the same, but give us a little insight there.
So for the 100 free, we're training sprints. So we'll do a lot of 25s and 50s all out, like 4 or 5 back-to-back, a rest, and then 4 or 5 more. And then after that, we'll end it with a couple hundreds off the blocks, all out for time. Just trying to really tire out our body and get ready for the race.
And I've been seeing how great Brad Dunn and the rest of the coaching staff are meet day, but how about behind the scenes? What are they like in practice?
They're always encouraging us. They're always giving it their hardest and their best so that we can always give it our best too.
Looks like Conrad Tan for Mary Washington in lane 4 is currently in 4th. We're getting down the home stretch here in this 200-yard IM, and the crowd is definitely coming alive as we see more and more people gathered around the pool. You want to get back down there poolside? Hey, happy homecoming, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's just a fun weekend, isn't it?
It was good talking to you. Thank you, sir.
We'll get you back again soon. This is a blast right here. Conrad Tan in 1st at the moment. Jonathan Zimmer for Mary Washington in 2nd. Andrew Foray in 3rd. Eric Witt for Lynchburg in 4th in lane 3. And I think you'll really hear the crowd come alive now as this is going to be a close finish again. I think lane 4, Conrad Tan, might get edged out by his teammate Jonathan Zimmer. They're at the final touch at the wall. Zimmer got it, yeah. Jonathan Zimmer edged out his teammate Conrad Tan. They sandwiched 3rd place Andrew Fiore in the third spot, lane 5. I beg your pardon, fans. So Zimmer and Tan, 1-2 for Mary Washington. Andrew Foray finishing 3rd. Eric Witt for Lynchburg in 4th. Owen Howery for Lynchburg finishing 5th out of lane 7. Women's 400-yard free relay. Let's try to run down the teams for you here. This is lane 1 for Lynchburg. Madeline Corbett will swim the first leg. Lane 2 for Mary Washington. Marina Klein will swim leg number 1. Lindsay Hare in lane 3 right now for Lynchburg. Mary Washington, Selby Heyman in lane 4. Lynchburg has Madeline Foreman. That's the Lynchburg A in lane 5. Mary Washington B has Ann Carr in lane 6. Lynchburg D, Abigail Schneider in lane 7. And then Lynchburg's got an E team. Jordan Reeder is down there in lane number 9. Selby Heyman for the Mary Washington A in lane 4 is currently in 1st. Going in 2nd for the Mary Washington A, it will be Margaret Jones. Savvy Burrows will swim 2nd for the Lynchburg A in lane 5. Claire Galloway jumping in 2nd in lane 3 for Lynchburg as the Lynchburg B team. Ashley Dyer, Mary Washington C number 2. Sophia DeCruz is in lane 1 as Lynchburg's number 2. Madeline White, May White, interesting note, she actually broke a record. She broke an American record earlier in the meet in her Paralympic category. And we need to talk more about that. Brad Dunn informed me about that when I went down. Everybody thrilled for May. Madeline White, she set an American record for her Paralympic swimming category. Congratulations. You're going to hear much more about that on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Social media stops as well. Can't wait to catch up with Madeline White May and get an interview with her to find out more about that. But she swimming second in lane 9 down there for Lynchburg, the Lynchburg E. Savvy Burrows has Lynchburg in first in lane 5. She's going to hand off to Sophia Shore. Lynchburg A looking to take this one home. Reagan Leach will be the anchor in lane 5 for the Lynchburg A. Bridget Wilson, Mary Washington A swimming third. Charlotte Grieve will swim fourth for the Lynchburg B. Mary Washington B will be Rose McCullen in the third spot. Jordan Adamitz will swim third for Lynchburg's D. Kaylee Kolka will swim third for Lynchburg's E. Lynchburg C features Caroline Marotta in the third position. Jessica Hinson will jump in third for Mary Washington C in lane 2. Sophia Shore has Lynchburg still in first. Looks like just half a second or so ahead of Bridget Wilson, Mary Washington's A in lane 4. It's Lynchburg's A in lane 5, Mary Washington's A in lane 4. That's the feature matchup right now as we get ready to bring it to a close. And this is a tight finish right here. Reagan Leach will hit the wall, spin, turn. It's Leach in lane 5 for Lynchburg A, Ashlyn Dietrich in lane 4 for Mary Washington's A. Lynchburg A team has just a split second lead, not even a half a second. I mean, that is a virtual tie right now. Leach kind of wavered in her lane, getting to the barrier there. Crowd is absolutely coming alive, and why wouldn't they be? Neck and neck, photo finish. Reagan Leach trying to edge out Ashlyn Dietrich. Dietrich got it. Wow. What closing speed there by Ashlyn Dietrich to get Reagan Leach with the touch at the wall. My goodness. It looks like a 1,000th or 4 1,000ths of a second better. Molly Spano rounded out for Lynchburg. Lynchburg B team in lane 3 did finish third. Mary Washington B in lane 6 finishing fourth. So those finishes really as expected, I guess, A, B, C, and D. But that was our best finish, I think. Other than that men's 50 free where it looked like 5 or 6 swimmers hit the wall at the same time. That was a great finish there. Congratulations to Ashlyn Dietrich swimming that anchor leg for a reason for Mary Washington's A. Final event of the afternoon will be the men's 400-yard freestyle. Let's name it by teams here. Lynchburg A team. Ryan Leahy will lead it off. Miles West will swim second. Colton Schnars third. Will Casemeyer is the anchor swimmer for Lynchburg's A. They are in lane 5. Mary Washington A in lane 4. Darrell Everett is in the pool now, and he starts it. Will Berkey will swim second. Jacob Robinette third. Logan DeWalt fourth. Lynchburg's B team sends Ahmad Woodson out first. We've already spent some time talking about his talents. Wyatt Dacus, Toby Lima, Miles Fitzgerald in that order. Mary Washington B. Larry Almanrento first. Eli Polovich in second. Polavchik, I think, for Eli Polavchik. Swims second for Mary Washington's B. Zach Cherry third. Conrad Tan will be the anchor for Mary Washington's B. It's a good start. Crowd is getting into it here in this final event. Men's 400-yard free relay. Team relays always add that extra element of excitement for the squad. Miles West, Lynchburg A. They're in lane 5. He hit the wall second behind Will Berkey. Second leg for Mary Washington in lane 4. But tight finish there, so keep your eyes on lanes 4 and 5, and don't forget about the rest of the action as well. Lynchburg's B is in lane 3, and Mary Washington's B is in lane 6. Very tight as the third legs hit the water. Colton Schnars for Lynchburg, Jacob Robinette for Mary Washington. Schnars in lane 5, Robinette in lane 3. Mary Washington's B is currently in third ahead of Lynchburg's B. Crowd coming alive again, and Schnars had a good leg there. Schnars has taken a lead for Lynchburg. Yes. Scoreboard confirms that, confirming the eye test. Schnars is about to touch the far wall here. Let's see the turn. Pretty good. Jacob Robinette seems to be falling a little further behind now. His arms are equal with Schnars' ankles as the final legs are going to come in. Anchor Will Casemeyer hits the water for Lynchburg. Logan DeWalt for Mary Washington, their anchor in as well. 1-2 there. Mary Washington's B. Zachary Cherry swimming well. He's got them in third. Toby Lima has Lynchburg's B in fourth. Exciting stuff right here. Will Casemeyer off the near wall and powering through. You got teammates jumping up and downs, going bananas. This is so much fun. Will Casemeyer's got Lynchburg in the lead. Good finish coming again as Logan DeWalt's going to try to swim down Will Casemeyer. Don't think he's going to get there. Will Casemeyer will get a relay win for Lynchburg in the 400-yard freestyle. Congrats to that team. Logan DeWalt second. The B matchup is close. Miles Fitzgerald got there for Lynchburg. Lynchburg's B finishing third. Conrad Tan will bring it home in fourth for Mary Washington's B. But how about that Lynchburg A team there? Will Casemeyer, the ankle leg, outstanding stuff. And Lynchburg's B, a strong finish from Miles Fitzgerald. The bookends there for Lynchburg's B team. Ahmad Woodson and Miles Fitzgerald were great in that one. I think we're going to get our final score read out here, so we'll hang out for just a bit. But boy, an exciting finish. We predicted it would be, and it lived up to the hype. That was really a blast. We, as mentioned, have all kinds of great activity and action still going on the University of Lynchburg campus for homecoming. I believe women's soccer will be getting cranked up at 4 p.m., I think is the schedule there. 4 p.m. for women's soccer. And as always, check the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Get some more info there. The social media stops. We got to start wrapping it up as we got to get Josh, our producer and director, back to campus as well for more work. But big thanks to Josh, and we'll get a look at the guys and gals shaking hands through a handshake line. That's great to see. We've had a fun day. Big thanks to all of our guests. We had so many of them, I can't remember all the names. But we'll effort to get a little cleaner with the broadcast. If we can get Sam Graham back up here for the broadcast, we'll really be in great shape, I'm sure. But you'll always be in great shape as a University of Lynchburg fan, and we thank all of our Mary Washington fans for tuning in as well. Here comes the full handshake line as we'll go through. I don't know if our public address man, Evan Gates, is going to get a final score or not. Let's just hang out for just a second. See if we can get a final score from Evan Gates down there. He is poolside, on the pool deck. Let's see if he has any information to relay to us before we break the broadcast. Evan Gates is taking a look, confirming with our officials. He said waiting on it. So we'll wait on it for just a second as well. But once again, let's say it's been an absolute blast of an afternoon. A whirlwind 24 hours or so as we had our Lynchburg Sports Hall of Fame ceremony. Last night, Lynchburg baseball team had a little separate celebration after that. celebrate their 2023 national championship. Lynchburg Equestrian won a national championship last year. That was actually back-to-back NCEA national championships for Lynchburg Equestrian. A lot of fun learning more about that team. All the fall sports are really playing well at Lynchburg. We actually got to see Lynchburg take on Mary Washington's volleyball team. The Mary Washington Eagles volleyball team is like 22-1 on the season now. They are a delight to watch. Best of luck to them for the rest of the season. And best of luck to Mary Washington, the rest of their swim campaign. They've got some outstanding talent, and they are a lot of fun to watch as well. Up next for swimming for Lynchburg, trying to run down the schedule again for you. Hornets are on the road in Lexington at Washington and Lee next Saturday, October 28th. Back at home for a home meet on November the 4th. That is also a Saturday. So that's 2 weeks from today will be your next LHSN swim broadcast. And who knows, maybe Sam Graham and I can team up. I can steal some of his stuff, and maybe he can steal something from me, and we can learn more about this incredible sport and all of our wonderful athletes that we get to spotlight and celebrate. And yeah, one more special shout out again. I was trying to get a little bit more of the official wording on the record that was broken by Madeline White, but May, as they call her, did break a United States record in her Paralympic swim category. And that is just fabulous. Coach Brad Dunn on final chat with the team right now, but congratulations to Madeline White. I know the team really loves having her around. Athens, Georgia native. And she has broken a national record. Really cool stuff. Our director of strength and conditioning, Ed Smith, has come out to show his support for the swim team. Of course, he works hand in hand to get them physically fit, stronger, and faster, and injury-free. Love what Ed Smith does for everybody on campus. Seems to be a delay in the final scoring. Actually, I'm getting a signal from Evan Gates right now. I think he's going to get it to me right now. See if we can get you a final score for this dual meet between Mary Washington and the University of Lynchburg, and then we'll let you finish up whatever's going on your Saturday. We're glad you've spent part of it with us. We know we've got folks watching and listening all across the country. All the family and friends and the connections and former swim coaches and teammates. Just great to be able to pop in here. But, just waiting one more second maybe on this final score for you fans, and I've got it. University of Mary Washington women's team did take the victory home with 165.5 points. Lynchburg women's team finishes with 96.5, and a close battle to the finish on the men's side. The Eagles from Mary Washington are going to take it 132-130 over the University of Lynchburg. So we'll end it there for my buddy Josh and all of our special guests today, all the LHSN staff that made it happen. Big thanks to Coach Brad Dunn, Kyle Haney saying so long. We'll talk to you again, swim fans. Have a great Saturday afternoon.